morning, everybody. I'm so happy to host our first Meet the Designer podcast episode. This is a live recording of our first interview with one of our favorite, most popular designers, Emily from Creating Homebase. We'll have Emily join us in just a second. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we're going to go over today. So the intention of Meet the Designer really is for you as clients to get to know the designer that you're going to be working with, right? So interior design is such a personalized process, really getting to be, we want to ensure that you have confidence in the person you've chosen to work with, you get comfortable with them, you get to know them, their design process, get also familiar with sort of what you can expect as clients when you work with this designer. So in that spirit, I'm going to go ahead and invite Emily to join us. Let me just let her in. Awesome. Hey, Emily.
Hello.
So excited to have you join us today. Happy Friday.
It's almost the weekend.
I know, right? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Emily. I would just love to get started, if you don't mind, before we get into like all the cool things, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you're from.
Yeah. So I live in Greenville, South Carolina. It's a small town. It's pretty much halfway between Atlanta and Charlotte. I am married to my husband. We met in high school, and then
Aww.
it's a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old.
Wow. You have a busy household. It's adorable.
It's busy, but it's fun.
That's awesome. Awesome. So tell us, what got you into interior design?
So my high school actually offered interior design as elective class.
Oh, that's cool.
I took it in high school and I really enjoyed it. So then when I was going to college, I don't feel like many 18-year-olds know what they're wanting to do for the rest of their life. So I really enjoyed interior design. So I was like, you know what, let me just major in that. I loved it and I've been in the industry since.
Wow, that is actually awesome. Firstly, it's awesome that you got started that early and you actually knew that early that's what you wanted to do. That definitely shows your passion. Awesome. So maybe, I would love for us to maybe chat a little bit about, as clients, when they approach you, how do you help work with your clients to help them achieve their interior goals? Maybe if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I really like to listen to my customers and clients and really get to know what they're wanting out of their home, what they're wanting out of the space, how they envision living in this space, and how they envision using the space, because that helps a lot knowing how to design the space. I also like to look at Pinterest for any inspiration, because I find a lot of people can see something and know that they like it, but they don't necessarily know how to describe it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I think that's really genius. Pinterest is actually a really great way to like kind of bring out your self-expression just through like reference than having to describe it. That's great. Yeah.
It is. And being able to then see a lot of pictures and inspiration links that they like, I can then pick out and kind of be like, okay, so you like traditional aspects or you like abstract art. Kind of, it helps a lot in then designing their space.
That makes a lot of sense. I know you're working with a couple of clients on RoomPlays. Congratulations on working those projects. Tell us a little bit about your process. Is so fantastic and so unique, especially the outcome. And I would love for our clients to hear about that.
Yeah, so my process is a little more unique in the fact that I do 3D rendering. So what that means is you can actually get a 3D room basically of your space with all of the furniture in it, and I kind of printed out a couple just so people can see.
Oh, awesome. Can you put it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this
that is gorgeous.
Thank you. This is just printed off of my printer, so it's not even like printed nice, but it just kind of shows the difference of a 3D rendering versus just a 2D and seeing just seeing actually seeing that your space makes a huge difference.
Oh my gosh, this is golden. Literally getting to visualize what your space will look like. I mean, this is awesome, Emily. Thank you so much for firstly for printing them out, for taking that effort and sharing them. I mean, this is amazing. This is really why we're doing this. So I'm so glad you got to share that.
I feel like it definitely helps a lot of people who are more visual to actually see what they're going to be getting, and then they can slowly add everything into their space when it works for them.
Yeah.
I also noticed kind of the difference between working with like an independent designer versus like a large company is a lot of the large companies partner with certain brands. And so then you are limited to only like 3 or 4 brands, whereas I am not partnered with anybody. So I can really work the best to get, if you're wanting IKEA budget, I can do IKEA, or I can do Target, or I can do Pottery Barn, or even nicer
Yeah.
front. I think that is a big aspect that a lot of people don't necessarily realize as well.
Actually, that's a great call out, and that's one of the reasons why we are all like our whole mission is to support, talent like you guys, right? Because really, what we're trying to, not everybody can afford those high, like if you spend a whole bunch of money, of course you're going to have a beautiful home, but the talent really comes in is where you put together with a budget in mind, and with folks like yourselves, and like especially with the 3D renderings, I think people can really visualize how they can put a beautiful space together on a sincere budget. So I really appreciate you calling that out, and thank you for your everything that you bring to our audience. So maybe I know you have a special talent that you're also using in your own home. So tell us a little bit about your decor style and I always love to, like, I'm sure everybody loves home tours, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing in your home. I think that story is so fascinating.
So I have 2 kids under, like I said. So our home is a mixture of like thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, Target, things like that, where I'm not going to feel bad if they get ruined or spilled on, or I mean, we potty trained my daughter over Thanksgiving. So we want pieces that aren't, we're not worried about if she has an accident. Um, So that is kind of like our home. It's a mixture of all those kinds of things, but everybody who walks in says that, oh, it's beautiful. And I think that
Yeah.
the art of the whole interior design is I can add in all of those things and not spend a ton of money, but everybody thinks it's beautiful and they think that you did. So,
That is amazing. I know that you've done something amazing in your baby's nursery. Tell us a little bit about that.
okay, so I do like to use a lot of stuff that we already have and then stuff that I find shopping. So when we moved into this house, my husband lost his babe and he was very upset about it. But when we learned we were having a boy, we were like, okay, well, it's the perfect time to pull all of that stuff out. Played football for Clemson University. It's just a university down here. But they went to the national championship when he was playing. So he has a lot of newspaper clippings and his framed jersey and his football signed by everybody. So we pulled all of that out and we really used it in the nursery. And then I just kind of went shopping just to add, a couple little things. But we got the nursery done for like under $100. Just
No way. Oh, that's genius. That is genius. Like that is exactly the type of story I want to share. I mean, that's amazing.
yeah. So I mean, I think that's the whole is. I feel a lot of home bloggers and stuff make you feel like you have to spend a ton of money to get kind of your dream home. And I want people to be happy in the home that they are in. I mean, you can slowly add pieces to kind of get your dream. And I think having the 3D rendering or having kind of like your picture of what you want, and then you can just slowly work towards it. I think that's kind of like what it's all about. So,
I agree. I agree. I do. I mean, a couple of call outs there. One is I think a lot of people are saying that you need to start from scratch. Like you have to throw away your existing furniture just because you're not able to see yourself there. And I think, I think the talent that you're bringing in is no, we can make things work. It's just about, like putting a look together versus like completely swapping things out. So I think that is amazing. And I certainly agree. I think a lot of, when you scroll through Pinterest and Instagram, it feels like, wow, like how are these houses so pristine and so well put together? And I do think that the again, the trick there is really like a lot of the clutter is on the side, and really what's in the picture is really what's Instagram worthy versus I don't think those, I mean, I don't want to call it for real homes, but I think a lot of real homes is what people want to live in, right? Like that's why that's our home. We're not just living for the Instagram world. So I think I appreciate you also bringing that out. Um, Awesome. I won't let you go before you tell us a little bit about e-design so people understand what e-design is. I know they've already taken a look at your renderings, but maybe tell them about, for the services that you offer on RoomPlays, what can people expect when they make a booking?
So any booking, you're going to get your 3D like this with a shopping list of every piece that's in here. And then on top of that, if you are wanting, I can do floor plans. So I'm working with a couple customers right now, and they weren't necessarily sure how to arrange furniture. So I sent them a couple different floor plans. So then they can kind of figure out the best layout for them. And then I can also add on wallpaper or paint to really visualize the space, how you're wanting it, and really land on a design that you love.
That's awesome. And so when clients come first to you, what they fill out a certain questionnaire, and that way you get to understand their lifestyle. And do they also share like what, because I think budget is a part of this conversation as well. So when you're pulling out the pieces, do you ask them about like their preferred stores or budget and things like that?
So I have a client intake form that I have everybody fill out, and then hop on a call to kind of discuss everything. And I do ask about budget, and then I also ask about how soon they're wanting to purchase things, or if they're kind of looking to just like slowly build. I find a lot of people don't necessarily have a budget in mind, but they have certain brands that are
Okay.
and then also if they're just going to slowly be building, then I don't necessarily feel the pressure that, okay, the whole room has to be done under the
Right.
We do talk about budget and everything, and I take that into consideration when sourcing all of the furnishings to really make it a place that everybody loves and wants to be in.
That's awesome, Emily. And I sincerely appreciate everything that you're doing for our clients and just, your talent. So I do want to thank you for your time with us today. If folks have any questions, please feel free to drop in a note. Feel free to, message Emily directly. And please check out her services. She has a variety of services for different styles and rooms on RoomPlays. Highly recommend checking her out. Her process is so unique. You're not going to be disappointed. Thank you so much for your time, Emily. I really appreciate you joining us, and have a wonderful weekend.